The title of this video is Murder in California. I have a bad feeling a lot of people have been murdered in California. A lot of people. One thing I do know is that the crime scenes have been illegally tampered with and illegally destroyed. I don't understand why the government keeps getting away with breaking the law. This is a Hummer. There used to be a tire with the rim here. You can still see some of the steel belts in the original picture's a whole lot better than mine, but you can still see some of the steel belts from the tires where they melted. You know, tires melt in a fire. Aluminum melts in a fire. Doesn't take that much to melt aluminum. I totally agree, totally understand. But now, if this was a normal fire and the aluminum melted normally, there would be a drip, drip, drip. Aluminum tends to cool and solidify pretty quickly. It doesn't take very long after you turn it into liquid. When it hits the ground, it starts to harden as soon as it puddles. So the only way to get it this far away from the vehicle in this kind of quantity would be to melt it all at once. I mean, for me to accomplish that, I would have to take that amount of aluminum, turn it all into liquid, and then pour it out of the bucket at once. The steel bucket or whatever I was using that wouldn't melt when the aluminum was that hot. It doesn't take that much to melt aluminum, okay? I totally understand that. I've worked with aluminum plenty of times. I can weld aluminum. But what I do know is very impossible is for this amount of aluminum to get this far from the vehicle without all of it being liquid at once. Otherwise, it would be puddle on top of puddle on top of puddle on top of puddle on top of puddle. It doesn't do that. Try to recreate this without heating it all up at once and pouring it all out at once. That is the only way. That is not a normal fire. That is not a normal fire. You see that right there? There's no car here, okay? Now, you'll see scorch marks like this in other videos and other people's work. They'll be showing you scorch marks from car to car. And they'll be showing you flip cars and stuff. There's some good videos out there, a whole lot better than mine. But I'm just trying to share truth and get more people to wake up and start doing their own research. This part right here, if you can see my little cursor, that fire right there is under the pavement. This white hot light is the top of the pavement. I want everybody to analyze these things. You see, one thing that makes no sense about this situation is if the gas was involved here. Okay, this car's flipped over. Whatever made this melt to where it's totally gone, okay, the gas is underneath this wheel. And the raging fire would be more on this wheel than this one over here out in the open air. I mean, why is this one so much in better shape than this one? I mean, this one's gone. But anyway, all that's just speculation. I can't prove any of it. But anyway, moving on. This right here, I do believe, is where the Hummer came from. That's flame. That's a white hot light of some kind coming from somewhere, and that's more flame. This is the top of the pavement. This is a hole in the pavement. See? You can't really see it on my computer too well. But I need everybody to do their research. In order for that much mass of aluminum to be in one solid puddle, that's not wave on top of wave, that's one solid puddle at once. In order for that to happen, that much aluminum had to be liquid before it was poured out. And that's almost immediate. That's what makes it strange. Now, there is something up with this window being here. I don't know what that's made out of, so I'm not even going to speculate on that. But I do know aluminum. And I also know that there's no car here, and that is aluminum. So there was a car here. So I can only speculate, but it looks to me like the Hummer came from here. And now it's flipped over here. You know, and most of the cars, that didn't happen to them. Most of the cars are like that one. They're just sitting there where they toasted. So that's why this video is named Murder in California. Because I do know that Hummers are very expensive. And I do believe that whoever owned this Hummer was a target. I'm just saying. Please do your research, people, before it's too late.